Hey there, welcome to Industrial Talk, and thank you very much for joining. You're asking yourself, Scott, where is that inspiring introduction, that music that gets me going and wanting to learn? Well, fear not, it's going to happen. We were very fortunate to interview live at Nottingham Spurk EY, and that is up in Cleveland, Ohio. You might have heard, I'm just telling you if you haven't, you might have heard Mr. John Nottingham's interview. Now, if you haven't, go out to Industrial Talk and definitely download that particular interview because he's inspiring. He wants our lives to be better, and he's doing it. And Team Nottingham Spurk EY are making it happen. So go out, look for Mr. John Nottingham's interview. This is the EY side. This interview coming up is the EY side. Jerry Gootee is the gentleman, and he's every bit as passionate about solving problems, delivering solutions. Me, personally, geeking out on this stuff, we had a great conversation. So anyway, again, Nottingham Spurk, EY, Cleveland, Ohio. I mean, at least go out to their website. I'm telling you, you'll be dazzled by it. So thank you very much. Enjoy the interview.
We got to hurry because the drinks are coming out. You realize that?
Let's see. He just walked on the intro.
Welcome
That's Jerry. That's great. We're not backing it up. That's Jerry. You can tell it's going to be a great conversation. So I just walk on my content.
Transferring cutting-edge, industry-focused innovations and trends while highlighting the men and women who keep the world moving. So put on your hard hat, grab your work boots, and let's
All right, welcome to Industrial Talk. Yes, Jerry's with us. He is going to be chirping a lot about what's happening here at this incredible Nottingham Spurk location. But you remember, this is the #1 industrial-related podcast in the universe that celebrates industry professionals such as yourself. You are bold, you are brave, you dare greatly, you innovate like nobody's business, you're solving problems, you're changing lives, and you're changing the world. That's why this platform, Industrial Talk, is for you. That's right. Jerry.
Scott.
Let's get cracking. Are you worn out now?
I'm ready. I feel like I'm going to a football game. I can't wait. Let's do it.
That's what industry's all about. We've got to make sure that we bring the energy because you guys are really doing a lot of great stuff out there, man. I'm telling you.
Absolutely, we are. Thanks for being here, by the way.
Are you kidding me? I mean, I couldn't. Well, I did sleep well last night. Yeah. I was gonna lie and say I was here last night, which I was.
You were.
And I was able to tootle around, which was great. I didn't. My expectation was, well, it was an expectation, but it surpassed in a bit, like way above. If you're out on video, I'm way above the camera right there.
Wow. Thank you for that. That's awesome.
It is. It's pretty cool. Come on.
That's what we're looking for. We're looking to blow people's just blow their socks off.
So when they come through the door, I'm just telling you, man, there's I know that. Yeah. Are you kidding me? That too? Oh my gosh. All right. Enough of that. Yeah. Give us a background. Yeah. Give us a background, Jerry, who you are.
Well, listen, I couldn't be more excited about being here. I'm Jerry Gootee. I work at EY. It's the love of my life. This place is also a labor of love, by the way, the EY Nottingham Spurk Innovation Hub. Been with the firm for 31 years. I've done a lot of exciting things, but nothing more impactful and rewarding than this place. I mean, this place is about helping companies grow. I know you're trying to get a question.
No, I'm breathing. I'm breathing. I'm geeking out on this conversation. I'm just breathing in and out. Don't mind me.
Yeah, okay, Scott. You just jump in anytime you like. You know.
I will.
But so what's unique about this place? There's a whole bunch of places you can go to, and industrials and manufacturers can go to, and see client experience centers, see innovation hubs, see innovation centers, all kinds of names, right?
Yep.
But what's unique about this place, and you can be inspired, by the way. You could be inspired. There's all kinds of cool places, all kinds of toys. I call them candy stores, right? All these whiz-bang technologies. We have that, okay? And we want people to see that. However,
you have a lot of it.
We have a lot of it. Yeah. We have a lot of it. But you know what's really unique about this place? If I go back to real life client experiences we've had, is we have that, but then we can actually take a real client issue, and we can then go, as I like to say, we can go down to the basement and actually make stuff. We can actually make physical stuff and make digital stuff. That's what's really unique about this, right? It's one thing to go be inspired and have to go back to your real world and say, oh, great, but I don't have that, I don't have this, I use this technology, none of that works. It's another to come here and say, oh, wow, they have all these digital applications, and that's actually on SAP. We have SAP, or wow, that's on PTC. We have PTC. And, oh, by the way, we have a hodgepodge of technologies here, just like all of our clients. Right. And downstairs we kind of have a brownfield, and upstairs here we're kind of talking about new and a greenfield. So, so we have all those different varieties, right?
When we arrived, the rotunda, it's big.
It is.
And it does take your breath away. And so you're saying, okay, what does this place have? So there's the rotunda, and you go, wow, it is different. And then you take the journey down, and then you just keep on going down. And it's like 60,000 square feet of
66,000 square feet.
66,000 square feet.
Wow. Yes.
Of just innovation, of just
real
energy, real meat.
Yeah, authentic. I call it authentic innovation, because you can actually see real outcomes, like, wow, this actually got innovated, put quotes around it, here, and here's the real product that got created, or here's the real digital app that got created, and here's the 18-month journey that got us there. That's what everybody loves. People love the stories. The physical space is great, but then the real life stories, the outcomes, and how we got there, that's what people want to know.
See, and what's interesting is what I realized here, and I've had a number of conversations, and it's not a slam on anybody, please don't come texting me or whatever, is the fact that it is real. You see tangible results. You see solutions. You see it's right here, right now. It's not vaporware. It's not interesting thinking, right? It's real.
Exactly.
And the process is solid of how you get it from that idea all the way through to the market, and then do it again.
Exactly. Over and over and over again.
And
I'm sure Mr. Nottingham bragged a bit about 95%. I always do an over-under on Nottingham. How many times he got a 95? He typically says it over-under is 10 normally. I don't know how many times he said it, but I always give him a hard time.
And again, did you bring that helicopter in?
Yeah, probably so.
It's for you, right?
Yeah, probably so.
You're that big of a deal. Coming to get you. He said 95.
Yeah.
And then he also said the 5% is what? What does he say about the 5%?
Well, 5% is what typically, that's what company success rate typally is for R&D, right? You put billions in and you're 5% successful. The other 95 is not.
But the success of what, Nottingham Spurk, E&Y, what is being delivered here is that you take it from cradle to grave.
Exactly.
And that's the secret sauce.
It is the secret sauce.
Because there's a lot of challenges. It's one thing to say, hey, I got a mic. Yeah. It's a great mic. Fine. But how do you do it? How do you make it? How do you scale it? What do you get? How do you get it out to the market?
Right.
How do you source it? All of that stuff is impressive.
It is very impressive.
Why is it important for E&Y to be here?
What's the future, right? This is, we're looking forward, and that's what's cool about this place. A lot of folks, obviously for a long time, 100 years plus, EY has been phenomenal at doing audit, doing tax work, doing diligence work, financial work. We continue to love that business and bring a lot of value, create a lot of value for our clients. This place is about looking more forward, right? It's about what's your next frontier of growth? What's our next frontier of growth? How are we going to help companies sort of, take that next, take the next hill, right? The next, what's their next big agenda, if you will? And that's what we're so excited about this place is, as I shared with you earlier, I think we were off camera, off mic, if you will, is
chit-chatting.
Chit-chatting. So why are we so excited about it? Trillions of dollars being spent every year. A lot of it, depending on what you read, 80 to 90% of it actually isn't creating the result that people are expecting.
Is that what it is? 80?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you look at, I can even share with you some data sources there. It's a huge number. So something's not working, right?
Yeah.
There's some additional insight that needs to be brought to the table. New way of doing, new way of thinking. And that's what this place allows you to do. I like to call it concept to market, right? From a great idea all the way through to designing it, all the way to engineering, to prototyping. But again, now we're adding to it is this connectivity element, right? And data, what's the importance of data as it relates to a new concept and a new product and a new, you name it, piece of equipment, what role should data play? And then once I have that data, I can't tell you how many clients have said, hey, we're all in on connectivity. We spent a bunch of money. We've added greater connectivity to our products, but you know what? We can't charge for it. We're not making any. We're not actually getting any value. We've added that element of connectivity, but we haven't adapted our business model yet to actually benefit from it. Many organizations are struggling with that as well. So you can come here. You also can take that business model, challenge on as well. There's so many different things that you can do across the spectrum.
And we spoke about this offline. There is a need for companies to be engaged. That's one. Two. My challenge is to find that trusted resource to say, hi, I have all this data. I got data. I'm collecting data. Lay the data. It's a tsunami of data.
Yeah.
But I have no idea how that data is going to bring me value to make my business better and my bottom line, right?
Exactly.
But you could you could come here physically and have a conversation and say, this is the data.
Yeah.
I got this manufacturer, blah, 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 whatever the story is.
Yes.
And be able to have that conversation with you.
Yeah, and more than a conversation, we can actually show you some live use cases on how we've sort of solved it for other companies and similar situations, right? It's really, show me something, right? I mean, I got lots of folks that tell me and talk to me and tell me why data is great and what they can do for me. But here you can actually come, we can likely pull up 3 or 4 very specific use cases that are on point and say, here's the journey that we took this client on. Here were the pain points, here's what the problems we're trying to solve, and here is the outcome, and here's the process that we used. That's what's different.
It's real.
It's real.
And I do like that. Now, let's talk a little bit about COVID, right? I believe, me personally, I could be completely wrong, and I feel comfortable being wrong. Anyway, pre-COVID, we were bringing our B game, maybe our C game. We talked a lot about digital transformation. We said, yeah, that seems like it's great. COVID hits. It's a slap upside the head, no doubt about it. I believe that COVID has created a more collaborative environment because people are searching for solutions. Yeah, we got the bad stuff, but I'm not talking about that. But I think the good stuff is like, I got to come to a Jerry and say, Jerry, I need help.
Yes.
And I have to have this conversation. I'm not sitting here with my, cards close to my vest, and I'm willing to collaborate. I'm willing to venture into the innovation space. So that's what I think.
Oh, absolutely. We're seeing it over and over again because if you're not doing it, your competitor is, right?
Yes.
That's what we chatted about. I mean,
yes.
I would say a lot of progress, has been made and had to be made. I mean, you think about, right now we're on video, but a lot of times we're Zoom, we're on Teams.
Yeah.
I mean, I think about just simple stuff like pre-COVID, very few of our calls, global calls that we had as a team or our meetings with our clients would have been video. Now all of a sudden they're all video. And oh, by the way, when you decide we're going to do a phone call and you don't get on video, everyone's like, where's Jerry? Why isn't Jerry on video? You know what I'm saying? And think about like how quickly that had to happen, right?
Right.
And like when you want to, get your, whatever it might be, your burrito in the evening, now you go on the app and you order that burrito. You don't think twice about it. I'm going to go pick it up. They're going to deliver. I'm not even going to walk into the restaurant. It's all going to be,
it's right there.
touchless. It's going to be touchless. Well, the same thing for manufacturers, right? I mean, now if you think back, when this whole thing got started, people were scared to death of having third parties into their operations onto the shop floor.
It's true.
Right? And so what had to happen? Well, we had to start thinking about remote, doing and servicing, and you're into maintenance, right?
Yes.
How do we actually start to do remote maintenance, right? And the only way to do that is through digital connect and getting more connected, right?
Edge, cloud,
you got it.
IoT, whatever it might be. It's transformative. And what I see, and what's interesting when we talk about maintenance space, is that we get to the point where the data, I'm collecting data.
Yeah.
The data has knowledge in it, right? And I'm gonna analyze that data through whatever parameters or whatever AI, whatever that tool is, and then be able to say, hey, there's a trend that's taking place on that asset, it's remote, bring this, that, and the other thing, just because, well, that's what you need to bring, because that's what the failure modes say. Go on out there, and it's so efficient. And so your asset uptime through data analytics is improved, because that thing's not going to fail because it's notifying you. You get out there and maintain it, boom, back up.
Amen.
And that's across the board with manufacturing in general.
Absolutely.
Greater capacity and so on and so forth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where do you see it going?
Where do I see it going?
Yeah, where do you see it going? Greater adoption? What? I mean, it's still, there's a lot of people thinking that it's more buzzwordish.
Yeah.
Like, hey, digital twin. Hey, cloud. Hey, and cloud's a little bit more able to sort of like, yeah, I say pictures to the cloud. Right? They get that. I got that, right? But edge, IoT, data analytics, AI, where do you see all of that going? Is it going to be real?
Absolutely. Well, I can just tell you, we've had, at this point, we've probably had, 25 to 30 companies. And granted, we just launched, 2.5 weeks ago, but we did a lot of pre-launch activity, right? And I can tell
John
you,
talked about it.
Oh, great, wonderful.
Go. He does it. Go ahead, but you go right ahead and ride his coattail because it's a good coattail to ride.
It is a good coattail, and I'll tell you that every company that came in here was talking about disruption. Okay, now I'm going to get to digital for a second.
Yeah.
But it all sort of starts with disruption, right? So I can't tell you, and since we're talking about industrials and manufacturers, which I love, at least half of them have said, "Hey, my product portfolio hasn't changed in 50 years." Many of them said, "For the most part, we make this product. It hasn't changed in 40 or 50 years." But oh my! Now I look at electrification and the impact it's going to have. Depending upon where you are in the supply chain,
right?
Many of the big industrials are tied to combustion engines in some form or fashion, right? When you look at ESG and you look at sustainability and you look at their products, they're thinking, oh my, this is real. This is going to happen. We're going to have to rethink the impact we're having on the environment. It's not just a lot of bantering. It's happening, and products are changing, and regulations are changing. Right?
Yes.
There's like one thing after another. Almost every industry has something incredibly disruptive that is right in front of them, and because of that, they're saying, okay, we have to think differently. And I love the saying of it's more about why not versus why. So it's why can't we go do that? Why shouldn't we go do that? As opposed to for the last 40 years, it's like, well, hold on a second, we got a good thing going. Why do we need to change this? So
that speaks to the culture. You're absolutely spot on, and there has to be that shift in culture, that shift in thinking.
Yes.
To be able to begin to embrace this, whatever this is.
Exactly. And then if I'm sure Mr. Nottingham talked about the customer, right? So who is the customer? It's a customer. It's a consumer. It's a distributor. It's a wholesaler. It's especially in this B2B world, all of that is in major disruptive situation right now, right? Everyone's trying to get closer to customers. And how are they going to get closer to customers? They're going to get closer to customers by having their products be more connected.
Yeah,
right.
And spot on that one.
And once you have and if you think about it, that's where, in my mind, that's where it starts. Now all of a sudden you understand the product's got to be smarter, they got to be more connected, they got to be providing more insights. Now all of a sudden I got more intelligence, as you said earlier, and then that's going to drive smarter supply chains, right? I can see social media, someone big and a movie star or someone is touting some particular product, and I'm in the supply chain of that product. In today's world, what happens? The product goes nuts. Everything sells off the shelf, and a month later,
and everybody becomes a supply chain expert because they can't get that doggone toilet paper.
Exactly.
It's like, where is it?
By the
Somebody
time
says
you
it's a
catch
supply
up,
chain.
it's gone. By the time
it
you
is.
catch up, but if you have the ability to see, okay, hold on a second, we're actually monitoring what's happening. All these different sources, not just the equipment and the assets, but social media and the weather and everything else. Now all of a sudden I know something's coming. I can get ahead of it, and I can start producing it ahead of time, and I can take full advantage of that opportunity. So, that insights from products obviously going to drive a much more improved operation, and our ecosystem of partners. That's a whole nother conversation we get into, all the way down to the shop floor, right? And making sure that I'm utilizing that capacity the best way possible. So is it going to happen? Absolutely, it's going to happen. It's going to happen faster than we could ever imagine.
So with that said, how do you consult or work with a client that is seeing this out there? You just rattled off. Like the world is changing, whether you like it or not. Where do I start?
Yeah.
Where do I?
Best question.
It's like, what's my first step? What
Yeah.
can I incrementally go through this process? Or I mean,
can.
like it's like there's a low hanging fruit.
Absolutely, you can. I mean, there's, the first thing you need to do. We call it the Digital Transformation Playbook, and it's okay. And it starts with, assessing sort of what your current maturity is, seeing where you have gaps, and understanding, where might we plug in some of these digital capabilities to close some of these gaps that we have today. It's almost like you and I think we were offline earlier today. I said many organizations will say digital hasn't solved anything for me yet.
Right.
Okay. And then as soon as you say, okay, well, give me what is the biggest thing it needs to solve, and they'll describe something to me, and I'm like, okay, great. Here's the digital application that would solve that. All of a sudden, they're thinking about digital in a whole new way. Okay, now, again, there's some foundational elements you need to have to sustain that, no doubt about it. But I think the best place to start is, what are the biggest problems that you have today, and are there digital capabilities that we could lever today to solve those biggest issues you have? And then from there, that becomes a platform toward a broader transformation in my mind.
Yeah, and I don't know how you can... we talk specifically, many people talk about the resource challenges, right? And how do I get people in my organization to do what I need to do? And that is, from my perspective, there is a need to be able to market and recognize that digital transformation, what we see here in action, is really a wonderful career. Absolutely, and it's not just your dirty jobs, whatever it is a spectacular career. And I think that has to also be a part of that.
Absolutely,
it's hand in hand.
There's a talent agenda, and there's also a leadership agenda too, right? That goes along with that.
Yes.
So everyone's quick to say, hey, there's not enough talent, but
you bring up another point that has to be addressed.
I always say there's this huge gulf between the 38th floor and the shop floor. There's a lot more, sort of capabilities. Many companies have actually invested in the shop floor in a lot of these technologies we're talking about. But this translation to how does it show up in the P&L, or how's it going to show up in my financials?
Yeah.
That hasn't happened yet.
Jerry, how do they get a hold of you?
They call me. They can call me.
Are you call this home?
Most of the time I'm here. I'm here 7 days a week.
Wow, you are committed. You are a digital committed guy. Man, I'm telling you, this is exciting.
Yes.
I wish I was you. Wish I had your hair, which I don't have hair. Everybody knows I have no hair.
Can't tell you got the cap on.
I do it because, well, it's a personal issue. Anyway, you were absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much for being on Industrial Talk. Listeners, we're going to wrap it up on the other side. We're going to be able to provide all the contact information for Jerry, as well as Nottingham Spirit, as well as anything else. You got to make this. This has got to be a priority. Put this on your bucket list. When you come to Cleveland, visit this incredible site. The rotunda itself is just
spiritual.
It really is. It's a doggone pipe organ. It's like you walk in, rotunda, pipe organ. What is that all about? All right. Thank you very much, Jerry.
Thank you, Scott.
Excellent job. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, stay tuned. We'll wrap it up on the other side.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
Hey, what did I say? Were you wasn't that a great interview? And what I like about it, if we go to Nottingham Spurk EY, and not many places you can say rotunda. I mean, it's a rotunda, and it is impressive. But the reality is that they bring things to market, right? They bring it from beginning to end, and it is inspiring to see them right in the middle of solving problems and making things happen. I don't know. That's why industry is so exciting. That's why, books like The Future, Faster Than You Think, they're right in the middle of it. I'm just, go reach out to Jerry. And that's Gootee. Gootee is his last name. Reach out, find out more. He's got a major stat card out there. Thank you very much for joining Industrial Talk. Be bold, be brave, dare greatly. And hang out with people like Jerry. They're bold, brave, and daring greatly. Nottingham Spurk. And you're going to change the world. Thank you again. We're going to have another great interview shortly, so stay tuned.